I guess he's really honored. By the way, if I've embarrassed anybody in here today, I want you to know I am not sorry. We're going to change the pace a little bit. Do you notice we're going to change the pace a little bit? Okay, thank you. You guys noticed on that table right there, right? Those two things. Mr. Spellman, you noticed that? Thank you, Doc. Okay, thank you. Let me make a brief statement, please. We have multiplied our possessions, but reduced our values. We talk too much, love too little, and lie too often. We plan more and accomplish less. We have conquered outer space, but not inner space. When I recommended Mr. Cole to be in the Hall of Fame, Coach Spoon paused a little bit. Remember you called me, I didn't make the meeting, and you paused when I said Harold Cole. And we changed the conversation, and he says, I need your nominee. I said, Harold Cole. And he paused, and I told him Harold Cole again. Not that he didn't believe me, but I wondered why he kept asking me why I said Harold Cole. Oh, by the way, I came to the hospital to see you. Joe Fornari told me that you can go. He says, I saw Harold, and Harold was doing well. He says, only family members could go. Got a call from Cheryl Golden, and Cheryl Golden says, I went to see Harold. And I said, but only family members can go. And she said, I went. I was his sister from Minnesota. I went to see Harold Cole. And the lady said, only family members can go. I said, I'm the brother. And she looked at me and she said, you can tell that kind of lie, go see him. I was trying to find something good to say about him, and I contacted Joe Fornari. He told me, he says, don't worry, make it all bad. I said I couldn't say something bad about your friend. So I told myself to call Harold or email Harold. And I decided to email Harold Cole and ask him to send me something good about him. Well, he sent me 3 pages of good stuff about him. I said, the Harold Cole I know, all of this cannot be true. We've been all the way to the moon and back, but we have trouble crossing the street to meet our neighbor and call him a friend. Harold is a friend of mine. Harold is a friend of mine. You notice he never missed one of these luncheons? Always showed up in the community, representing Coral Gables Senior High School, and most of all, representing himself. He came more because he wanted to identify with the student athletes of Coconut Grove and identify with the people in Coconut Grove. This guy was over here doing the racial unrest one time. I walked into his car and told him, please let me tell you when to come back over here again. But he still became a fixture of this community. Harold, I read these 3 pages of the good stuff, and I noticed his personal philosophy. That was the only thing that happened to be good about it. He wrote, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So make sure that you're always prepared and work hard to be the very best at whatever you are attempting. Treat everyone equally. Treat everyone equally. And understand that people won't care how much you know until they know how much you care. I care about you. I call your name. Our next inductee is Mr. Harold Cole. Thank you.
What James doesn't know was at that time in the hospital, the nurse came in to me and said, there's a gentleman out there claiming to be your brother. I looked around the door and I told her, he is. I am more than honored and humbled to be here. As Mr. Colsey has mentioned, being part of Coconut Grove, being accepted into this village is beyond my wildest dreams. The respect I have for the people here and so many of the great athletes that have come through here, but just the people themselves and what you mean and what you care about and how you feel about this community is beyond anything that most people throughout really the state of Florida have any idea. I've been very fortunate to be mentored by, talk about me being a mentor. I've been mentored by many great, great people. I've had the opportunity to follow at Coral Gables when I became the athletic director, following Nick Cody's and Jack McCluskey. I had an opportunity to coach basketball and follow Lenny Rosenbluth, coach with Lenny, which a lot of you know. I've had an opportunity to deal with a lot of people in this community. When I first became the athletic director at Gables High School, a gentleman that I have to mention, he's not with us anymore, and James will know this gentleman, and very few people know how this guy took me under his wing at that time. It was the athletic director at Miami Northwestern, Lee Perry. All right, Mr. Perry, and some of you might have known him, was just an amazing guy who took me aside after so many meetings and just taught me about being an athletic director and how to deal with people, okay? Louis Bing from Miami Northwestern, I was honored a few years ago to be inducted in his Ring of Honor, which was another great thrill of mine. I had some great, great friends, great people in my life, people that are here, which I give me a minute to, people I grew up with, all right, who I grew up from the time I played against the boys club, playing at the Coral Gables Youth Center, all right. Tito Gomez, who I've known for over 60 years, Bobby Brown, Joel Finari, who also was for a long time athletic director at South Dade Senior High School, but we go that far back. My good friend and school board member, Dr. Larry Feldman, I'm thrilled to have here. The other table, obviously, Vinny, who I hired at Gables, and has been very, very close all these years. Our team doctor for many years, Dr. Whittington, who was a running back at Gables that Joe just kept forgetting to mention, played on that same team. Okay? A young lady who is at Coral Gables High School and, I know you want me back over here. Okay, and has been like a sister to me, Stevie Cosgrove, and yeah, you know Stevie, okay? And then my rock, my mother here. And my father, who I know is looking down on me today. My mother, who will be in another month 97 years old. And when you talk about people, you hear people say, this is my better half. I can't say that because actually right here, this is my better 3/4. Her mother Nancy, who we're thrilled to have with us here, and the stud of the family, who is at Palmetto Middle right now and will be captain of the cheerleaders next year, honor student Jennifer. And as I said, I'm beyond thrilled to be here. The only regret that I think after all these years, that one person that I never had an opportunity to meet that I really, really regret, because unfortunately, and I say unfortunately, I was in the last segregated class of Coral Gables Senior High School. The man who, over the years, I've learned to admire from afar, but never had that opportunity. I wish I would have known him, is Traz Powell. I really would, because from what I understand, the difference he made in so many people's lives. Yes, I knew a Nick Cody's, yes, I knew a Jack McCluskey, I knew so many people, but I would have loved to have spent some time just talking with him and understanding him, because I can tell the difference in what he made in people's lives. And as Mr. Colsey said, a few years ago, yes, I was in the hospital and they gave me a short period of time to live, but for some reason, I'm still here. And I guess I'm here for a reason, because people said, how and why are you here? I said, I don't know, but I know that I want to live until one day before that I'm no longer making a difference. Thank you for being here.